Welcome to the Holistic Entrepreneur with holistic nurse practitioner, success coach, and best-selling author, Bonnie Groessl. Bonnie and her expert guests share tips, tools, and strategies to achieve success on your holistic entrepreneur journey. Each show features answers to common entrepreneur challenges, along with a healthy dose of support and motivation. Now, please welcome the host of the Holistic Entrepreneur, Bonnie Groessl.
Well, welcome everyone. This is Bonnie Groessl, your host here at the Holistic Entrepreneur. Now, today is the first week of the month, so we're going to do a group angel reading. And I also have a mindset reminder for all of us as well. So before we get into that, I always want to let you know how much I appreciate all of you sharing your time with me here in the show. I am so grateful. I know that time is our most precious asset, so I always want to make sure that these shows are value-packed so that you feel your time was well spent. And I always say this, but I really think that being a holistic entrepreneur is really more about who you are than what you do. You come from that heart-centered place. You want to make a difference in the world. And perhaps that's you. And that's why you've decided to join us on the show today. So if this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you've tuned in before, welcome back. I hope that you find this will be another great show with insights to help you on your entrepreneur journey. Now, I always want to remind you, too, that the information that's shared here is educational, inspirational, and motivational in nature, but I always want you to just take what fits for you and simply let go of the rest. This does not intend or imply to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. I always want to preface every show with that little reminder, and especially when we do a group angel reading. Now, my mindset piece for you, if you haven't already begun doing this, is to just sort of take this time with COVID-19, the pandemic sweeping the globe, and most everyone being asked to stay at home and really limit your exposure. All those things are really good things. But what that does is it affords us some time, right? Some time to reflect. Maybe this is a time to be innovative, to be creative, to nurture yourself, to take time for those things that you just have been putting off for too long. So my thought for you today is to take time to, as much as you can, enjoy this time and take care of you. And certainly, follow all the guidelines. And I think we'll get through this. We've gotten through things like this before. But I think we all need to do our part. And, the social distancing, wear a mask if you're advised to wear a mask. Certainly don't go anywhere if you're not feeling well. But the thing is, there are so many people who don't have symptoms and maybe never develop symptoms, yet they still have the virus and they can transmit it. So it's just such a big unknown right now, so unsettling for so many people. And I hope the angel reading that we do today will help with some of that. But during this time that we have, where we maybe are limited as to what we can do, take that time to reflect and to do things that you've been putting off so that you can be prepared for the new normal that will be here when this is all over. So that's sort of my mindset message for you today, is to take time and reflect. And maybe it's a time to think about innovative things that you can do in your business or creative ways to make changes so that you can adjust to the new normal. And right now, depending on what your business is, your clients, patients, customers, and potential customers probably need you now more than ever. So don't be silent. Don't go totally inward and get off the grid. Engage with your customers. If you have customers now, let them know you're there for them. And the potential customers too. People right now are feeling kind of alone, especially because of all the isolation stuff that's going on with quarantines and whatnot. They probably need you more now than ever. Maybe you've been always wondering, maybe I should do Facebook Live, or I should get out there and do something, or I should do angel readings or whatever. Maybe now is the time to do that. So take this time to be creative, to be innovative, and most of all, reflect and take care of you. So with that said, let's get into our angel reading for this week, for the month actually of April 2020. And this is probably in April 2020 that we're never going to forget. Hopefully it will be better than March, and hopefully we're getting through this. But I saw something the other day that said, we should really tell 2019 that we're sorry for being so angry with it, because 2020 has got its own challenges. So with that said, I have not seen these cards before, and I've chosen 3 decks, or I should say they chose me. They always jump out. And we've got Angel Answers, Archangel St. Michael. He's kind of always there in this time where we need that sense of security, and then Healing with the Angels. So those are the 3 decks that popped out to me today. And actually, the first 2 cards of the first deck, Angel Answers, were jumping cards. So I didn't really have a choice. They just came out. So let's see together what they have to say. So the first card is yes. Just a simple yes. And I love this because so many of us have been asking, will I be okay? Will my family be okay? Will my business be okay? Well, the answer is yes. We will get through this. I love that as a first card for our reading today. I think it is so fitting with what's going on in the world. And you can't plan these things. I love this. The next card is no need to worry. So yes, everything's going to be okay, and there's no need to worry. Trust that everything is going to be okay. And by the way, as a reminder, I will put an image of these cards in a JPEG or something so that you can download it, make it bigger so you can read anything else that's on the cards. These cards and also the Healing with the Angels really only have 1 or 2 words. Archangel Michael deck has a few more words, so you can always read those, but then you'll be able to get a better sense for the cards. So these first 2, the 2 that popped out, the jumping cards, I didn't have a choice. They just were there. So they really wanted to be heard. And maybe that's because so many of us are scared, and so many of us really need to know, is it going to be okay? Well, they're here to tell you it's going to be okay, and there's no need to worry. Be safe, and follow the guidelines, but there's no need to worry that it's going to all be okay. And the next card that comes from us is from Saint Michael. I can't even say this. Saint Michael the Archangel. And this card is honor and trust your feelings. Honor and trust your feelings. And that kind of goes along with what we're just talking about. I mean, we're all emotions are high. There's fear, there's anxiety, there's worry, there's excitement too, because this is a time of change. And any time in the world's history when there is something that's been a catalyst, whether it be a world war or a pandemic of some type or, something like this, that catalyst pushes us forward to something new. So there is sort of an air of excitement here too. And, maybe this is what we needed. I don't wish this on anyone. I don't wish anything difficult on anyone, certainly. But something probably had to happen. I mean, the way we've been treating the planet, the way, the world has been evolving and going, it was just, maybe we just needed a wake-up call. Perhaps something like this is that wake-up call. So trust and honor those feelings. Whatever you are feeling, whatever you're struggling with, Archangel St. Michael says, honor and trust them. And we also, we had just heard that, it's all going to work out. Everything's going to be okay. There's no need to worry. And if you're worried, that's only normal, right? It's only natural to have some anxiety, to be worried, to be fearful. Just don't live there. Don't make that your predominant way of being, because then the energy you're putting out into the world is not helping. We need to be as positive, as uplifting as we can. All of us, each of us, making sure that we're doing the social distancing and all that sort of stuff is a huge piece. The other piece is the unseen things, the things that are coming out of us energetically, through our emotions, through what we say. That's really, I think, as important. So make sure that you honor those feelings, but just don't live there. And then this next card is admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. So if you are fearful, if you are anxious, if you you think that the worst could happen, admit that, but then don't live there, right? Honor those feelings, but don't stay there. So admit it. If I mean, it's normal. It's human nature. The unknown is probably the scariest thing of all. So if you're scared, it's okay. Admit that, and then act accordingly. And to me, the message that I'm getting to send on to you is acting accordingly means to acknowledge that, because every emotion should be honored, but then don't stay there. Don't live there. Don't let that be or become who you are. Shift, right? Because this too shall pass. It's all going to be okay. Now, will we go back to normal the way we know normal to be before? No. We're going to go into a new normal. But you know what? That happens anytime that something significant happens in your life. It could be a wedding, having a baby, a loved one passing, something like this, like the pandemic we're dealing with. Those major life events, things are never going to be the same. We're just going to develop a new normal. I'd often talk about when we had our accident in 2009, when we came back from that, we developed a new normal. So we think of our lives in terms of pre-accident or post-accident. I think now many of us, or maybe all of us, are going to be thinking of pre-2020 or post-2020, because it's such a huge event for the whole world. So admit how you feel. That's okay. But then acting accordingly gives you like the okay and permission to shift that feeling, because I think that's the way we can be the most help to one another. So now the last two cards come from Healing with the Angels. And the first one is friendship. And like I said, I'll put these cards in an image for you. This card is speaking to me because of what's going on with social distancing. Friendships are probably more important now than ever. But we can't maybe, go for coffee to our favorite coffee shop or whatever with people. That's okay. With technology the way it is today, oh my goodness, having to go through this type of thing 30 years ago, even 20 years ago, we would be totally isolated because we wouldn't have had the advantage of the technology that we have to us today. So get on Facebook, get on Zoom, get on whatever, Skype or FaceTime or whatever, and connect with those people that you maybe haven't talked to in a while, or maybe are afraid to, or maybe hadn't taken the time because life has been so busy. Don't forget those friendships. And the other thing that they want me to tell you is that we're all friends with ourselves as well. So don't forget about you. Friendship is with other people. It's with other, animals, inanimate objects even, because everything has energy. But friendship is also with yourself. So if you have been feeling down or really sort of a Debbie Downer type of thing, that's okay. Acknowledge that. Admit that you were there. Just don't stay there. And our last card that comes to us, I love this. Oh, I just love this, is answered prayer. Now, many of you, I know I have been praying extra hard recently because of all the things going on. Know that those prayers are answered. It may not come in the package that you expect. Things always don't come in the package that you expect that it will, but they are answered. Your prayers are answered. So in looking at the reading from today, we started with yes. Whatever you're asking, is my business going to be okay? Is my family going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? Is my loved one who's got COVID-19 right now going to survive? The answer to all those things is yes. Yes. And then there's no need to worry because everything is going to work out. Everything is going to be fine. Yes, there will be people who do lose their lives, who there are people who are suffering. I'm not diminishing that at all. But in the end, when this is all over, I think we will come out a better world. And maybe that's just a Bonnieism, maybe that's just me, but that's the sense I get from those cards. And then honor and trust your feelings. And if you have been feeling very doubtful and kind of in a bad place, in a dark place, that's okay. It's normal. You may be struggling with significant issues in terms of your health, finances right now, because there's so many industries that have had to shut their doors, at least for now, and unemployment's that high, and all these things economically, plus there's the whole health piece. So it's okay to feel that way. Honor those feelings, admit that you have those feelings, but then choose to pivot, choose to look in a different direction. Don't live there for the rest of your life, because that's not helping you, and it's not helping the world, really, because everything is energy, and what you put out there, you get back. And so just be aware of what you're putting out there. And then don't forget those friendships. Those, maybe there's somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. You can still pick up the phone or get on, FaceTime or something like that and talk to them, whether they're your family or your friends, any relationship, because really this friendship card, to me, is related to relationships, whether it's relationship with a family member, with yourself, with a friend, with people that you just, see at the grocery store. Not everyone is going to the grocery store anymore, but I was there earlier today, taking all the precautions, of course, but everyone is really distancing themselves and nobody talks to anybody. And it's really very surreal almost. So we have to do those things when we're sort of in person, face to face. But with technology the way it is today, we can break those barriers. We can be with our loved ones. We can't give them a hug necessarily, but we can give them a virtual hug in that we can see them. Whereas years ago, we couldn't have even done that. So I think friendship, relationships in general is a really important part. We're a community. This whole planet is one community, right? We're all one. We're all connected to one another. And energetically, we're all in that matrix of connection. So those relationships are more important probably right now than they have been ever, or at least in my lifetime. I can't think of another time that it was this type of global issue. So friendship, relationships, including with yourself, very important. And then know that your prayers are answered. Answer prayers. Whatever your belief system is, and however you pray or you reflect or you meditate and you think about what it is that you want, asking for is fine. I think a better way to even pray is to imagine your request already being answered and feeling what it's like to already be there, to already have that prayer answered, and then giving thanks for this prayer being answered, for changing so that you have what you want. As I'm doing this reading today, I don't know if it's just me, but my hands are like hot, 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 hot when putting them together. I think it's the energy of these cards and the message that it brings, the message of hope, of faith, of trust, to know that it's going to be okay. We are going to get through this. And your prayers, whatever they may be, are answered. So what have you got to lose by imagining what that's like when you're already there, when your prayers have already been answered? And then feeling that well of gratitude, just thinking about it as I share this reading with you, my heart chakra is getting really intensely, it feels bigger. It's just, there's so much appreciation for what we have. And so don't forget about that. It wasn't a separate card that came out, but I think gratitude is kind of in all of these cards. especially when we ended with answered prayer. So don't forget to be grateful for what is currently in your situation, because there's something, unless you're not here anymore. And to just imagine what it would be like, what it is like, what it's being already there. So whether you choose to, whatever way you choose to pray, reflect, or meditate, we kind of began with that today, didn't we? In terms of taking this time to reflect. And it may be a time to be innovative in your business, be more creative, whatever that is. But I never know what thought I'm going to come up with. It just sort of comes to me. And it's interesting how it all ends on the same note, that time of reflection. Maybe you have more time right now than typical, than the norm. So take that time to reflect and imagine what you want and being there already and feeling that and feeling the gratitude. So I hope this angel reading was useful for you this month in April of 2020. We'll see what the rest of the month brings. And we'll see if I need to do a special edition angel reading. I did that last month. We'll just kind of see how it goes. I have decided on the Holistic Entrepreneur to really focus on the stuff that's going on right now in terms of how we need to pivot in our business, things that we need to remember, mindset stuff. So whatever happens the week that I, air the show, that's what we'll talk about. I don't really have a set plan. I had a set plan for the whole year, but I've sort of put that on the side because I think this is more important. We need to all get through this together. And that's my promise to you. So until next time, believe that anything is possible as long as you believe. And many blessings to you all. And please be safe. Well, thank you for joining me here at the Holistic Entrepreneur Show today. If you would like to learn how you can be a sought-after guest on popular podcasts, how to produce your own show, or even how to use content marketing to grow your business, go to bonnielinks.com and check out the offers that I have for you there. BonnieLinks.com, BonnieLinks.com, is also where you can sign up for my monthly newsletter, the Holistic Entrepreneur Update. It comes straight to your email with an update from me and all of the links to the last month's shows, just in case you missed anything. Now, this newsletter also gives you access to the show's guest gift page, where you can access all the great gifts from my guests over the years. And don't forget to subscribe to The Holistic Entrepreneur on your favorite podcast directory so that you'll automatically receive the newest episode when it's released. The Holistic Entrepreneur is brought to you by M&B Global Solutions.